So it is currently Tuesday, December 11th. Yes, I know it is December and I still have my October fall decorations all up. Yeah, I spent a lot of time painting those pumpkins with glitter paint and I've just been really still enjoying them. This was originally supposed to be the start of a writing vlog, but then I rambled for about 20 minutes on explaining what my current goals are and some problems I've been having with the way that I was tracking my progress and the priority that I was putting on word count. So now this is just going to be a explanation of what my current goals are for the rest of the year and that I have to refocus what I've been doing. So last I updated about my writing was my writing 3 books at once vlog, and in that one I concluded that I'm going to work on my purple novel because I'm getting pretty far in that. I've passed 80,000 words and I'm almost to like a really dramatic point that can kind of, I guess, be like the end of maybe part 1 of the book. You know how in books they have like part 1 and then like there's a dramatic page and then there's like part 2. This is like kind of where the split of part 1 would be. And so I got really motivated in my writing 3 books at once vlog, and I decided that I want to try and finish that whole section maybe by the end of the year. I don't know if I can do it. I have, yeah, how many chapters left? The year is almost up, so I don't know if I'll actually make it. Actually, it's only 7 scenes until that break-off point, and a couple of them are actually probably pretty short. There's one of them that I'm not sure exactly how long it's gonna be. So that actually might be doable. I've decided to change my writing measure of progress. What I was doing was I was focusing on word count, and I gave myself a really low word count goal that made sense at the time because I was having so much trouble with using the speech recognition software to write. I was only getting about, I don't know if I said this already, I was only getting about 200 to 300 words a day written, and that was really frustrating me, and because I didn't think that was enough progress, but then like I did all these calculations and realized, oh, if I actually do have 200 words a day, that ends up as 1,400 a week, which ends up as 6,000 a month. See, I already did all this math, I have it memorized, which ends up to like this amount per year, which is all well and good except for earlier in the year I did not reach that. Anyway, that doesn't even matter anymore because I originally had a certain word count goal set that I wanted to hit by the end of the year, and then I will have like achieved my writing progress or whatever it was. And then I realized that is completely arbitrary since I don't even know word count goal, like what point in the book is it even? I have no idea because I was going completely by word count and not by like the points in the story, which is dumb because what ended up happening was I got better at speech recognition and I was still stopping at like 200 words a day because I had hit my goal, or if I had made 1,400 words a week, which isn't really that much. Like that's what people do in a day in NaNoWriMo, even though that's a lot per day. Per week, it's not very much, and I was stopping myself and being lazy by being like, oh, well I did like 300 words today, so I'm just gonna randomly stop in the middle of the scene for no reason because I did my word count. So now I can go like mess around and watch YouTube videos or waste time playing this video game that is sucking up all my time, and I need to do something about that. This is not the time to talk about that. Or what am I saying? Yes. My word count goal was completely arbitrary. It made sense at the time because that's all I could do, but I can do better than 200 words a day now. I have decided to refocus my focus on scenes and chapter completion. I'm still tracking my word count so that I know how much I've done, which is, it's just good progress wise to know. Also, I like to track my word count because I want the chapters to be a certain length, so I use word count for that as well. But the thing about tracking scene completion instead of word count is, so this way I'm going to be stopping, hopefully not have the problem of I hit 200, 300 words and then I stop. I did this experiment with 3 different novels, different YA novels, and I realized that most YA books have roughly 290 words per page, no matter the book size or the font size or the margins. I tested 3 very different books and they all had about 290 words per page. And I also noticed that the average chapter is roughly like 15 to 20 pages. And I realized that I actually kind of like shorter chapters better. So using all of this statistics, so I was thinking about this and thinking if I only do 300 words a day, that would equal 365 pages in a year. And I don't do 300 words a day. I don't write every single day. That'll only be 365 pages of a book in 1 year, which the current book I'm currently working on is much longer than that. So that wouldn't even be a book a year, especially when I write more than 1 book at a time. So I realized I needed to like really step it up a notch. So, but again, if I double it and I do 600 words a day, then I can write like a really big book in a year, and that's a lot better. So now I'm a lot more focused on completing scenes and chapters. And of course I don't have to write an entire scene in a day. If it's longer than like 600 words, then it's probably going to be a multiple day scene, but I am going to focus more on congratulating myself for finishing a scene or getting a good chunk into a really long scene rather than an arbitrary word count, which I think is going to help me a lot more. And then also when I have a shorter scenes, you know, I still get like credit for a whole scene, even if it's only like a really short scene. Like if it's only a 300 word scene, it still counts as a scene, and it's still progressing the novel because every scene progresses the novel, and that's a lot more important than spending forever on one really long scene. Okay, so this is obviously it's not exact science. I'm kind of working off of random averages of scene lengths here. But basically I want to try and write 2 scenes a week, and that will end up being like 2 to 3 chapters a month, more or less. Again, the whole point of this is to not stop after a short amount of words, and also to stop checking my word count, because what I was doing lately is I would like write, and then like every like 20 minutes or every like 10 minutes even, I would go and I would see how many words have I written, and like then I would just stop without considering like how far am I even into this scene. Like I would stop after like 200 words, but like the scene is maybe 1,000 word scene, so I'm not even nearly done with it, and yet I'm stopping because I'm fine, I've done enough. So we're not doing that anymore, and now my stopping point I'm doubling to 600 words. But I'm not going to be like, if I am 600 words into the scene and it is almost done, I'm going to finish the scene, obviously, because before it was like I would stop. But if it's a really long scene, I will break it up into like pieces of maybe about 600 words. That's my new goal anyway. I know I just said, I know it may have sounded like I'm back and forth on like word count, but doubling my word count goal, but not really, because it's not going to be about the word count. It's going to be about the progress that I'm making. I have rambled for long enough. I actually was intending to make this a writing vlog, as I said in the beginning, so I'm just going to go ahead and film that clip. Basically, if you're going to get anything out of this, make goals that make sense for you. If tracking your word progress helps you and is what motivates you to write more words, then go ahead and do that. There's nothing wrong with using word count as your motivation or your way of tracking your progress. I mean, it works for a lot of people. It's a classic way to track writing progress. It's pretty much the simplest way to do so. More words generally equals more progress in a novel. But if you're like me and you feel like you would rather focus on scenes rather than just numbers, then don't be afraid to like not use the most conventional way of tracking progress. Like obviously I think people do track scenes as well, but it's easier to track word count because like everybody understands when you say I've written 1,000 words rather than saying I wrote one scene. People don't always, like, some scenes go on for pages and some scenes go on for like half a page, so it's not such a universally understood method of tracking your progress, but I found that I work a lot better when I'm tracking my scenes and not my random word count. You've heard enough. Have a good day. Good luck on all of your current creative projects, and I will see you for my next video. Bye!